Sarah's car broke down on a rainy road, fear filling her eyes. David stopped his old truck, offering help with a kind smile. Their first meeting was brief, but something unspoken lingered. Sarah thanked him, and David drove away, his heart strangely warm. Weeks later, they met again at a small-town bookstore. Both laughed, surprised to see each other once more. Sarah admired his taste in poetry. David admired her gentle voice. Their conversations stretched for hours, time slipping away. Sarah learned David was a struggling musician. He learned she was a teacher who loved children. Their friendship grew into late-night talks and endless laughter, but whispers soon followed when they were seen together. Sarah's parents warned her about judgment from society. But Sarah only said, "Love is stronger than fear." David sang to Sarah by the river one evening. His song carried hope, pain, and a promise of love. Sarah wiped her tears, whispering, "I believe in you." In that moment, David felt seen like never before. Their hands touched, and silence spoke louder than words. A fragile bond had turned into love. The town's whispers grew louder, turning into cruel stares. But Sarah walked proudly beside David, her hand in his. David faced rejection at music bars because of prejudice. Sarah waited outside every night, encouraging him not to quit. One night, David said softly, "Why do you stay?" Sarah smiled, "Because I love the soul in you." Sarah's father refused to accept David into their home. Her mother looked away, torn between love and fear. Heartbroken, Sarah left her family's house that night. David opened his small apartment door and welcomed her in. They built a home with little money but endless love. Every corner held laughter, music, and hope. David performed at street corners when clubs refused him. Sarah cheered the loudest, her faith never wavering. A stormy night brought vandals who broke their windows. Sarah held David's hand as fear filled the room. Instead of giving up, they rebuilt the next day. Together, they painted the walls with brighter colors. Neighbors started noticing their strength and devotion. Some began to admire what others criticized. David wrote a song titled "Two Souls, One Promise." He sang it for Sarah under the glowing streetlights. Sarah hugged him tightly, whispering, "This is our story." David kissed her forehead, and it will last forever. Soon, David got invited to perform at a larger stage. Sarah cheered with excitement, her eyes full of pride. But even in the spotlight, some critics doubted their love. David answered with a song that silenced the room. Sarah's health began to falter during winter. David stayed by her side, never leaving for a moment. She whispered through tears, "Even in pain, I feel loved." David kissed her hand. That's all that matters. Weeks later, Sarah grew stronger again. Their love had carried her through the storm. The town slowly began to respect their unbreakable bond. Even Sarah's parents began to soften their hearts. Sarah's father finally shook David's hand. In his eyes was acceptance, long overdue. For the first time, Sarah felt truly at peace. They had fought for love, and love had won. David proposed under the same riverside where they first fell in love. Sarah cried tears of joy, saying, "Yes, forever." Their wedding was small, but filled with love. Friends and neighbors gathered, clapping with joy. Music filled the air as David sang for Sarah. She whispered, "This is the happiest day of my life." They built a little house on the edge of town. It was simple, but it was theirs. Sarah taught children at a school nearby. David played music at local halls and churches. Their love became an example for others. Whispers turned into admiration and respect. Even in old age, David sang the same love songs. Sarah still danced barefoot in the living room. Their hair turned gray, but their hearts stayed young. Love had only grown stronger with time. On their anniversary, Sarah told David, "We beat the odds." David replied, "Because love never fails." One evening, Sarah grew weak and lay in bed. David sang her their song softly until she fell asleep. She passed away with a smile, holding his hand. David whispered, "You'll always be my forever." David sat by her grave, guitar in his lap. He played their song as the sun set. Villagers gathered, remembering their love story. They spoke of courage, hope, and two souls as one. David grew frail, but never stopped singing. Each note carried Sarah's memory. One quiet evening, he closed his eyes with a smile. He whispered her name as he joined her in peace. Their graves stood side by side, flowers blooming around them. The town called it the resting place of eternal love. Children at school still heard Sarah's lessons of kindness. David's songs continued to echo in their hearts. Their story was told for generations, inspiring hope. Love had defeated hate and prejudice. The river where they first fell in love sparkled at dusk. It carried whispers of their eternal promise. To souls, forever bound beyond life and time. Their love lived on as a legend.